I'm pretty sure Clint Eastwood copied the 12 Angry Men script. Juror number 2, starring Nicholas Hoult, Toni Collette, J.K. Simmons, and Chris Messina, is about a juror in a high-profile murder trial named Justice Kemp as he finds himself struggling with a very moral dilemma, one he could use to sway the jury's verdict and potentially convict or free the accused killer. Now, I first saw a trailer for this movie about a month ago, and I was really excited for it. It has a fantastic cast. J.K. Simmons is one of my favorite actors working. Clint Eastwood is a legend. He is a historical figure in Hollywood, and I was excited to see what was announced as what is probably his last movie, though I could very well see Clint Eastwood dying with a camera in his hand. But there's a good chance that this is Clint Eastwood's last movie. And he went out with a bang, with absolutely no help from Warner Brothers, because this movie's not showing in hardly any theaters across the country, less than 50 apparently. Luckily, the one that I go to is showing it. So I'd just like to say, fuck Warner Brothers for every decision that they made to just hide this movie and not let Clint Eastwood go out with what actually ended up being a really, 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 really good movie. Nicholas Hoult and Zoe Dutch's chemistry on screen together in the beginning of this movie and throughout the rest of it is so strong, and you feel that relationship, and it feels very real, very authentic, and you are able to empathize and kind of root for Nicholas Hoult's character Justin to get out of this situation that he's found himself in. And Toni Collette does a fantastic job as the prosecuting attorney, who's struggling with her own moral dilemmas of the case and is trying to find out, did this guy actually do it or not, and doing some investigating and finding out that the guy that was accused of the murder actually didn't do it. For the little bit that J.K. Simmons is in this movie, he is fantastic. As always, J.K. Simmons is one of the best actors in Hollywood. He perfectly plays his character. And as they enter the second act of this movie, it was very, very, very reminiscent to 12 Angry Men. But the deliberation and the debating by the jurors is so well done. You feel the tension, you feel the emotion, you feel every single reason why every single person in this room is making these decisions. And when they do eventually reach a verdict and they present it to the judge, you do not have an idea of what the verdict is going to be. This movie tackles so many themes about alcoholism, our justice department, what love is, what the right thing to do is, what the truth should be, what justice should be. There are just so many things that Eastwood was able to capture in this movie and put in it and fully flesh out in only 2 hours. It was done in a absolutely spectacular way that not many other directors are able of accomplishing. Eastwood, I remember whenever I saw Richard Jewell back in 2019, I believe that was the last movie that he did, it was basically the same thing. He's able to capture so many themes and ideas. It's completely bizarre how he's able to make a movie that is practically just a courtroom drama with a little bit of a twist to it, have so many themes and feel so fleshed out, and you care about so many characters, and you understand where everybody's coming from, and you understand all of these perspectives, and you are left with so much to chew on by the end of it that you don't know what to think. And it's a movie that it feels like would be really, really, really good to see a second time because of that. I think my biggest issue with this movie is that during the courtroom scenes, it kind of speeds through the actual trial, and they don't ask that many witnesses that many questions, and they don't really do that much with the actual trial. They're just kind of speed running through that to get to the debates between the jurors about whether he did it or not. And it's also kind of pointless because you know by the trailers and you know by the first 5 minutes of this movie that Nicholas Hoult's character actually did hit this lady. So the trial doesn't really matter too much, and you don't really care too much about it. You're just waiting for the moment where Nicholas Hoult's character and the rest of the jurors are debating, and they're trying to figure it out and piece things together, see how he maneuvers his way through all of this and gets out of it. My other minor issue that it doesn't really mean too much, it's more of a nitpick, is that Toni Collette's character was running for office, and they kept bringing it up that she was running for the district attorney position and how big of a impact that this trial would have on her ability to become the district attorney. And you see the stress that she has that goes along with it, but it doesn't really matter in at all. Like, it doesn't really add anything to the movie whatsoever. It's just like a few scenes and a few off mentioned lines about how she's running for office or how she might become the district attorney, and it doesn't really add anything to this movie. It doesn't really do anything for her character. All it shows is that she's under a little bit of stress. So that was a part that I could have gone without. But besides that, this movie is fantastic. It's one of the best movies that I've seen this year. I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5 over on my Letterboxd. Make sure to like and subscribe this video and let me know what you thought of Juror number 2 down in the comments below if you got a chance to go see it in a theater near you. And we will see you in the next movie review.